Hello, welcome to Nerd News Now for November. I said November. Man,
We are just skipping a
want-
whole month now. Congrats, guys.
2020 is almost done.
you guys, I want it to be November so bad. You
Me
don't
too.
even understand. But sadly, it's August 17th, 2020. I feel like with everything that's gone on in 2020, if we woke up and 2 pages were missing from the calendar and it skipped ahead 2 months, that'd be pretty normal, right?
Yep.
Honestly.
I just say we make that happen anyway. I would love
We
to
had
skip.
time skip for 2 months. Anyone? Any other bingo card? Time skip for 2 months?
Yeah, please.
Let's declare it November. It'll be November.
Okay. Can we declare a victory also? Well, anyway, so Nerd News Now, August 17th, 2020. What is going on with you guys? Like, we have everyone here. So we got Jarek, we got Chaz, we got Miss Jen. Miss Jen, starting with you, what have you been up to?
Let's see. Winning button challenges and messing around with giant boxes of comic books, and I don't know what else. This weekend was nice. I usually went on a big long walk, and I've been watching some fun new shows. I'm sure we'll talk about shows later, but I've been watching some shows.
Now we can't skip over this button challenge. Oh yeah, never mind. So I know what button challenge you're talking about, but a lot of these people do not know what button challenge that is. Do tell the masses about your awesome button challenge.
So Bad Idea, which is an awesome rockin' new company that
Pretty good idea.
That was opened by started by Dinesh Shamdasani, who used to own Valiant Comics. They were set to launch ahead of COVID. And then, of course, COVID happened, so they couldn't do it. So they've been trying to figure out a way to get people, like, to find out when people are ready for them, when they'll be excited about them. So they have this website where an AI called The Button has taken over their website and requires 1 billion pushes of the button itself before they'll launch the book series. And they realized that it would probably be pretty boring to just have people sit around and push this button for 1 billion times, which will take a long time, but people would do it. And so they decided to do like a store challenge where they took the top 100 stores of the 100 stores that initially signed up with them and split them into 4 teams. And then those teams all battled and split down to 2 teams. And then those teams, one became victorious. And then the stores that were part of that team, they put them in a big tournament style competition in which they, I think first the semifinals, you had 15 minutes to push all the buttons you can with all your fans and your family members or whatever else. And then half an hour at quarterfinals. And the finals were an entire hour of pushing button, which, by the way, hurts a lot. Probably about 31 minutes in, all I could think of myself was that part in The Princess Bride where it says, "To the pain." It was literally what I was doing. So we were victorious, but our customer base and the people that decided to join our team or whatever else they decided, everyone that was pushing for us during our time period was about 4.5 million pushes.
Nice.
Not bad.
That's awesome. I was somebody sent me the email about that. I had no idea what was going on. So I had the email about when we were in 4 teams, and it was on last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. But after that, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't get any updates or anything like that. But so I had my trivia players push the button, and I just hope we were in the correct time slots. But if not, whatever. It's a really cool idea. I wish I had more information about it. But I'm glad you guys were victorious. That's awesome.
Thank you. It's so funny when we were in the finals, someone messaged me. We were getting ready to push a button for an hour. He said, "What's the prize?" And I was like, "Oh, it's amazing. Check this out. We get a trophy and drawings of the button done by the Bad Idea staff."
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's worth it right there.
If the
Did
stores,
said person like participate?
yeah, if you're a participant store, like if you're in for one round, like if you're in the big bunch of 4, if you're at
Yeah.
least in a round, you get one of them.
Nice.
If you're in any subsequent round, you get more for each round.
Wow, that's awesome.
Not bad.
I've seen
Very-
some of them at a badidea.com. I think they've got some of them that they're hand drawing. They're pretty ridiculous. Just exactly what you would want for doing ridiculous things like pushing a button for a whole hour for no reason whatsoever.
Exactly.
Except for to get books. I want Bad Idea books, so.
Heck yeah. Yeah, we're excited for Bad Idea books.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear all about the how this concert worked out, where people were in their cars but still jamming out.
Well, that was the initial idea, but it turns out that's not what it was whatsoever. It was a legit concert. We were social distance. The stage was huge, which was great. Pretty much like long story short, I do a thing called the backstage pass. So a couple hours before we go on stage, I take you backstage during a live feed, and we talk to everybody who's available to be talked to, as far as stagehands and the owners and other band members and stuff like that, to get people pumped and ready for the show. And it was a sold out crowd for like over 500 people, and it was great. So we went Facebook Live, and I don't know, within a couple of hours, it had over 1,000 views. So that's good. I haven't checked it today, so who knows? I have a new stalker now from Oklahoma, so that's great. You can always tell which ones they are. You don't get stalkers by slinging comic books, gang. You get stalkers by playing in a rock and roll band, and it's fun. I've had plenty. So I don't know. There's a way that you deal with them and a way that you don't. So we're at the way that you deal with them phase of the whole situation. Hopefully they just kind of get over it and they just move on or whatever. So apparently I've been sent pictures from her Facebook story that she has found her one true love, and we're gonna get married soon, and hashtag he will be mine, and hashtag he will be mine forever, mine in all caps. So I instantly blocked her because I kind of got that vibe from her, especially after you get like 10-15 messages in a row. And so I've got people screenshotting things. So that was my weekend.
What we're saying is if you go missing out of nowhere, it's this gal.
Probably, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
She came up to the merch booth, got a couple of pictures, and she was very nice, and left. And then all of a sudden, as the night grew on, she grew closer. I don't know. She just wasn't. She was just always around.
Nice.
But other than that, man, it was really cool, really great. Can't wait to go back. We're talking about doing some stuff with Hinder. Yeah, but yeah.
Had any connection for a long time, so that you were kind. People haven't had any connections for a long time, so that you were kind to her at all probably meant more than usual.
I hope so. I hope that's what it is. Maybe she's just like, okay, I've just been in quarantine forever, so maybe it just, I don't know. Hopefully it just all blows over without her going crazy. I like the wheels on my tires, you know what I mean?
Totally.
I don't like them flat. I like them with hair.
Nice.
So that's mine. What about you guys? Jarek or Mark, what did you guys do this week?
Jarek, here's a question. Jarek, how many miniatures have you painted this week?
1.
Oh, well, that seems like a lot. Because, I mean, I assume you put a lot of detail and time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on a contest piece right now, so that's the one I'm painting. So it's not like I'm just churning out mass production, I guess. But yeah, no, that's kind of what I did. So I've been sleeping well, right? So my smart genius, mind was like, hey, let's try this melatonin stuff, right? Because last time I did it, it totally didn't work. So obviously we're gonna try this and see how it goes. So I go to the Walmarts, right? And I'm at the Walmart, and they have like 3 different doses, right? There's 1 milligram, 5 milligram, and 10 milligram. Like, hey, I don't know which one I took before. I'm always gonna take the 10 milligram one because why not? And so I go home. I go to work. I come home. I'm not feeling tired, so I'm like, hey, I know when I take NyQuil, the normal dose isn't enough. I usually take like 1.5. I'm going to do something similar with this, with the 10 milligram, melatonin. I was out in like 20 minutes, if that. And then I woke up the next day and I was super disoriented, and I was like, "Whoa!" And that's like the most fun I had this week. Actually, it's kind of weird. I don't have stalkers yet, I guess, but I'll reserve that for Chaz. He can deal with all of them.
Thanks, buddy.
But that was my crazy weekend was dealing with a melatonin overdose situation, I guess. Because I'm a smart boy.
The thing with melatonin is it's supposed to put you in a calming state that's supposed to survive your sleep cycle. So a lot of people don't come out of it groggy. I was afraid that you were about to turn to ZQL when you mentioned NyQuil.
Oh,
ZQL is more terrifying than NyQuil.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the ZQL?
Yeah, the effects of that are pretty intense. Melatonin, once you get on a regimen, is supposed to be a more natural way to get sleep. But I don't know if it necessarily knocks you out. But once you're in that sleep cycle, it's supposed to be good. But
I don't know, man. But I think 20 milligrams is definitely going to knock anyone out. So it's my big brain science move for this week. So take that, Mark.
I take it. Mission, I pressed that button at least 1,000 times, so I can only imagine pressing it 4.5 million times.
Yeah.
And I do want to say that we had an all Houston semifinal, right? It was Space Cadets and Bedrock.
Yep.
And I think I might have broken it during that time. I mean, I know like if you press the button too much, it says respect the button and you have to refresh the page. But then at some point at the end of your turn, I think it just broke altogether, either at the end of your turn or the beginning of the Bedrock turn. But there's a lot of button presses that hour for sure.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because when Bedrock was doing their quarterfinal or something, I pushed for them because I wanted there to be an all Houston final. And then once we ended up beating them, then they pushed for us in the final. It was just it felt like we were all doing stuff for each other. We just wanted to get to the end game, right?
That's really cool. Yeah, well, put Houston on the map. That's for sure. I'm kind of bummed. I had no idea what was going on through that whole situation. I think we have so much coming in through the store. I guess it falls between the cracks. But I did the click it. So I did that. That video was fun to do. The click it. It took me like 40 tries, but I got somewhat consistent with it. So that's great.
I think it was like walking around the store doing it.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
So, Jen, are they trying to get up to a billion still? Are they going to have any more tournaments or anything like that?
I'm sure they'll do some more competitions because they're I don't know. I didn't look today whether they made it to the 200 million or not. They should have probably. But yeah, it's one of those things that, like, when you get, it seems like a completely achievable number, right? When you see the numbers going up so fast, and then you get past to the first 100 million, you're like, dadgummit, we have to do this time.
Yeah, we have 900 million more clicks to go before we get anything out of this.
We could text Chaz's new friend and just servethe.button.com and say, hey, when you get
get us to 1 billion clicks and we'll give you Chaz's number.
Yeah, I hate you. Yeah, let's not do that. I mean, her Facebook story alone is scary. I can only imagine. Dude, it probably would get to 1 billion in, like, I don't know, an hour.
You will be hers. You will be hers forever.
God, I hope not.
So
I don't like tied up things.
DC Fandom coming up. Is anyone excited about this?
Okay, but since we're on the subject of DC, can I say something real quick?
Go for it.
Thankfully. Okay, one thing, I mean, I love working at the shop and I love the customers and all that jazz. But why are you mocking me, sir? like
at said store, yes.
But the people coming in who are, I know for sure, and I know by fact, and so told me that DC is never publishing another book ever again, and I know this for a fact, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what?
Who's saying this?
Oh,
yeah.
customers all
a lot of people.
AT&T, it's all going digital. But thank you, Jim Lee, for coming out and says, yes, we are still in the business of publishing comics. You will see your milestone characters, Batman and all that jazz. So the next person who comes in, I'm going to kick him in the shins if they say it's DC's going strictly digital.
Nah, see, like I said earlier, this is always one big conspiracy, man. They're making Jim Lee say this. That way, when they finally do kick the bucket in terms of actual sales and distribution, it'll be like, well, I don't know what happened. Sorry, that's all Jim Lee's fault. You have him as the fall guy, obviously. Come on, Chaz. 2020.
I hate 2020.
They're on their way.
Yeah.
The most recent chart, it was just based off of the Comics Hub information, but it had Image with a lot higher percentage of the market for the stores that are using Comic Hub than you would have imagined.
Really?
Up and making DC sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Right on. I wonder if that has anything to do with the move at all.
Maybe. So there, and who knows what information is correct anymore at all?
Yeah.
But
That's true.
They were saying that their numbers were the same or higher after the move.
Wow.
Right on.
It's big for Image.
But Chaz, I really want to know who said that DC Comics is done with comics, and was their last name Marvel?
No. Yeah, Johnny Marvel who comes in. Yeah. No, I mean, just with them being bought out and all that jazz, and the DC app going away, it was, I mean, at least once a week, I'll have those customers. Are you ready for DC to go totally digital? And I'm like, that's never going to happen. If they were going to go digital, maybe they take some of their lesser known titles off and go digital that way. I said, but there's no way that DC will ever stop printing a Batman or a Superman comic. There's always going to be a Batman comic. Even if DC got bought out, Batman will always be around. Always.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So and you can't sit there and argue with the customer to a point where you're just like, listen, dick, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about, because you want them to come back next week and spend their, their $5, $10. But,
yeah, you get to a point where it's just like, yeah, you're right. They probably will. They will stop at some point. Yeah, come on, go.
Yeah, and then
get out of here.
And since I say that, yeah, you're probably right. He's gonna go say the same story and be like, you know what? The long-haired Kevin Smith lookalike at The Adventure Begins said that he agrees with me. There's gonna be no more comics, and that's why these people are coming in.
No. See, what's going to happen is it's going to be one of those things where he's not going to drink the whole thing where he agrees with me. It's like, oh, yeah, the long-haired Kevin Smith lookalike in the comic book shop said he's going to no longer do it. And now it's all directly on you. And it's like, ooh, there it is. It's official news right there.
Yeah. Then I'm like, Snoochie Boochies?
Yeah.
And that girl's going to...
Is there a short-haired Kevin Smith lookalike at Adventure Begins?
No.
No?
Okay, because you keep saying long-haired lookalike, so I didn't know there was like a new person that was a short-haired Kevin Smith lookalike.
I don't know, but Chin was gonna say something about that chick. What was your awesome?
Yeah, let's go back on this train first.
On social media right now saying that guy at the Adventure Begins. DC.
Hashtag he loves me forever.
See, what's really happening is, you're pretty good at mentioning that we're doing this on Mondays, and so she's gonna be following Twitch right now, watching this as we're saying all this stuff.
Oh, you know what? What the thing is, I mean, I haven't banned her from my Twitch channel, but she could be watching this. I'm sure if she were watching, like the feed would just be full of, "Hey Chaz, what are you doing, Chaz? Hi, Chaz.
I love you. Oh my God.
Yeah. What are we getting here?" Okay, enough about this girl. We're here to talk about nerd dudes. Now.
I mean, you've got to be stoked, right? It could be worse. She could be like, you're the most horrible human being in the universe. There's nothing wrong with...
Well, I'd almost prefer that, because they say it once and then they leave you alone. They don't want to be associated with you ever, which is totally fine. But this one just won't go away. It's kind of like a little needy ankle dog that you show up and it's just always right there, and you kind of nudge it along and it's like, oh, yeah, it's right here. It's this. I'd rather she not like me.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be Ed Gein or like Jeffrey Dahmer or something.
Man, I'm always aware of my surroundings. Always looking. Plus, I know a little bit of Keanu Reeves. I know kung fu.
Nice.
Thanks.
Did we just write like 3 Counter Space episodes just now?
Let me go
You
grab
know,
my notebook.
actually, hold on. I better jot that down to tell you the truth. Because, Mark, that's a
I
great
want to see
really
you
good.
kick Johnny Marvel in the shins.
kicking Johnny Marvel in the shins.
Yeah.
I do think that that Keanu Reeves Kung Fu one might be all right.
That's definitely a punchline somewhere. Yes.
Kung Fu. All right, cool. Counter Space, and I'll have you, Mark, as a co-writer on that. Even though we don't do credits, just when you see it, just co-written by
I'll know.
Blair.
So let's get back to this DC thing real quick, because you mentioned that the app was going away. Now Jim Lee swears the app is not going away, but obviously part of the news was that all of the visual content minus the comics is going to HBO Max, so all the original series, and we knew that that was happening. So I'm kind of surprised that the app isn't going away. Although I do love the comic interface of the DC universe. Oh, for those of you who use it, I know it might just be me and Chaz at this point, but Chaz, how much would you pay for just the comic aspect of DC Universe? No? Done?
I mean, I love the concept of the DC app and what they were going to do with it, and I like it. I like it now for what I'm paying for it. Being a total nerd that I am, it's great. But the only time I read the comics on it is because like they'll scroll through the top as suggestions, so I'll read them there. Plus, they have that point system where it's like earn your points, but to earn 5 points, read this comic. So I'll read that comic, and I think that's a great way to get fans more involved, I guess, within the DC universe. Even though I want my Harley Quinn statue, but if they do away with everything else, then I'm not going to go on it just for comics. I have Marvel Unlimited, and I haven't even been on it. I haven't read a single issue of Marvel Unlimited, and I'm still paying for it like a moron. Which I should go ahead. I should go ahead and actually just deactivate that right now as we speak. Marvel Unlimited, you're out of here. Hit the bricks. So yeah, no, I'm not. I wouldn't pay for it. I like the books in my hand.
Yeah.
You know, even that the book that I bought from Jen, that Marvel 1000 with Mickey Mouse on it. I read it in my hand, and people are cringing right now listening to this, going, "Oh my God, you touched it!" Like, yes, I did.
Very greasy little, rock star hands over that cover, and I was like, yes.
Actually, truthfully, I did not read that comic. I bought one from our shop and read it, so that one is untouched.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, look at me. But yeah, I do like the feel of an actual comic in your hand, though. Did you see Jen's face? She was like, "No, what did you do?"
Not looking at books ever again.
Yeah, I was about to say she'll never sell me a book ever again. So, what about you? Would you pay for the comic app by itself?
I would say $3.99 if we're talking about just the exclusive content going away, like the shows that they're currently producing. If they had some sort of deal to keep all the animated series and the older shows, and they just wanted to move, Doom Patrol. Hopefully they'll revive Swamp Thing, and then Stargirl is going to be CW, and then you have Young Justice, and then Titans, which they need to probably start paying people $1.99 to watch each episode of Titans. That's my view.
I haven't seen Titans since season 1.
Pretty rough. It's pretty rough. Oh, people love it. They love those characters, but just story-wise, and I don't know.
Wait. You think they should start making people pay $1.99 to watch an episode of a show that's, as you quote, pretty rough?
No. They should pay people $1.99.
Oh, okay. I had that backwards.
They should pay me $1.99
to
watch.
It's like hey, I'm gonna here's the dump. $1.99. You can come in. You can experience the dump. You can look around. You can grab stuff. You can just take in the overall smell of this place, and then go home. And then it's like you get mad if they get like a 1-star review from this thing. It's like, yeah, maybe pay $1.99 to hang out garbage.
Are we talking about the furniture store, the dump that's located here?
No.
Dump.
That is super.
By the way, this episode of Nerd News Now has been brought to you by The Dump.
No, I meant like the actual dump, like yeah, like where garbage is.
Like where garbage is.
Yeah.
I had to clarify because there's a store called the Dump down here. And it blows my mind every time.
Well, that's actually now you're getting confused because the Dump Furniture, their tagline is the dump where garbage is. But anyway.
Yeah, so the first time I heard about this place, right, I was shopping around for a new mattress, and my mom was like, "Hey, you should go down to the dump for a mattress." I'm like, "Sorry, what?" I know I'm poor, but I'm not like that poor. And she's like, "No, like the store." I'm like, it wasn't connecting, and yeah, it's you should probably know about the dump before you bring up the dump to someone else.
Yeah.
So now you all know.
Did she say no? It's classy, like Big Lots.
It's classy. It's not like
get a nice new mattress from Big Lots, everyone. Yeah. So no, I think I just think in the day and age of a billion apps and streaming services, maybe one that's specifically comics was just never going to work. I mean, I think that's it. And if it were to ever, it would be on the Marvel side, and they would have everything behind it. But at this point, I think you just put it all into one. I mean, like I've always said, if there was like a comic aspect for like a $2 upcharge on Disney Plus where you got all the Marvel digital comics, it'd be a no-brainer. But then they would have to have that interface built out specifically for them.
Well, oh man, I'm out.
But yeah, but it might just be, yeah, I don't know. But as far as the future for DC, were any of you upset by the books that have been canceled?
I don't read DC, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Okay.
Something canceled.
Because they announced that Aquaman was ending.
Mm.
I mean, didn't the person who was writing it, wasn't Gail Simone writing that she was leaving anyway? It was like, which to the egg?
Yeah.
Well, I know that like on the November solicitations, the following books were left off: Teen Titans, Suicide Squad, Young Justice, Hawkman, and Constantine. But those are things that always come back.
Yeah.
So I've posed this before, but what would you do? Any of you have any idea how many monthly books Marvel has right now? Like how many titles, whether it's bi-weekly or once a month?
I couldn't even give you a figure, but I bet monthly.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. And like including, well, no, that would be a monthly. I don't know,
At
man.
least 7.
What? 7?
At least 7.
At least 7.
At least.
Technically correct. That's all that matters.
Man, I could tell you. Did you say Titans or Teen Titans were left off that list?
Teen Titans.
They should leave off Titans. That book ain't doing nothing right now. Teen Titans seems to be selling okay. Hawkman has been surprisingly doing well. I mean, at least in our store lately. Because I don't. It seems like every time I turn around, they're canceling Hawkman, and then all of a sudden sales spike. I guess, or maybe it's just rumor. Maybe they're just not doing any. I don't know. Those books I don't read, so I'm just like, all right, cool. I'll see Hawkman in the Justice League, or the Teen Titans will be back in 2 months. I mean, you can't not do a Teen Titans book. And apparently, Young Justice is doing really well right now too.
Well, that ending that too. I just think at some point they got to look and say, if we could just get this down to 20 solid titles, that you would have more people buying more consistently. I mean, I guess the idea at this point is just to throw darts and hope people pick up, 3 books out of 40 a month or whatever. But I just think if you really focused and kept the teams together, then 20 titles, like it's hard to keep up with even 5.
It's hard to keep up with even 1. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, it's got to be like, I understand from a sales perspective, it's probably like, well, yeah, let's have a lot to choose from to get a wide variety of customers. But at this point in 2020, don't comics people know what they want? So wouldn't it make more sense to have a really solid lineup of 20 for a publisher? And then that way, maybe if you could get them to buy 5 consistently a month for 2 years, keep the teams together. Because it seems like when you get up to 40, 50 titles a month, you just have that law of diminishing returns. Where it's like, yeah, someone might pick up all the number ones, but in the long
Jen
run,
is getting attacked by a Wampa real quick. Sorry, I do.
Yeah, I think it's a Flurkin.
Mm.
A Flurkin. Well, I bet those titles being canceled has a lot to do with like them firing a lot of people at DC here recently.
Yeah.
Jim Lee stated that a ton of people have had to be let go.
Well, that was across the whole network. So it was Time Warner and DC got hit really hard all across. It was like middle management did okay, but everyone else, editorial did badly. If you were in upper management, you did badly. It was a pretty big clear in the house.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, when it's all said and done, it might end up being a third of the staff. So that it is a big hit. But because everything is so top heavy, especially with on the creative side. I mean, look, Batman's going to be there, Wonder Woman's going to be there, Superman, as we've said, Justice League.
Which I was gonna say, like, thankfully, like when you start hearing those, hey man, they're about to make some cuts, and you're working on Batman, and it's doing really well right now. You're like, all right, I think I'm good. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but we do have the Joker War going on right now, and I think that's job stability if you're working on Batman and it's selling. So that's gotta feel really good. But you working on Hawkman, you just start backing up. Poor guys, man. That's gotta be horrible, though.
Yeah, and Hawkman's definitely had that fan base has had the largest outcry on Twitter, but Hawkman's kind of like the equivalent of Punisher, not character-wise, but in the sense of how many times has Punisher been rebooted for Marvel? Are they up to volume 13 now? 14? I mean,
there's no telling.
I mean, whenever the Becky Cloonan series came out, that was volume 11. So I'm sure they've since rebooted a couple of times past that.
I have no idea.
And then it's odd. I guess the timing of all this is odd. Which if it was Time Warner and not them, that makes sense. They didn't have full control over this, but they're still pumping up this DC Fandom that happens this Saturday and Sunday for 24 hours, August 22nd. Mm-hmm. And they released the schedule, and it's just too much to even list. It's like 100 different panels. So they're going to have it separated into 6 universes: the Hall of Heroes, the Watchverse, the Uverse, the Insiderverse, the Funverse, and the Kidsverse. So there's plenty. Yeah.
So we're doing 6 different places, right? We have a whole bunch of things going on. Only one of them. Only one. Can you have fun in, everybody? Only one.
I mean, yeah, if you're Johnny Marvel, you're not gonna have any fun, sure. but
as long as they're kicking him in the shins,
right? But
how long can we refer to just just whatever's like Marvel fans as Johnny Marvels?
Yeah. Well, yes.
And DC fans as DC Dianes.
I like it.
Yeah. But look, there is going to be, news that comes out of this because they have like every cast member of all the DCU movies. They have Jim Lee and all the big writers and artists. One thing that's going to happen is some news on Aquaman 2. James Wan has said that Aquaman 2 promises to be more of a horror, and I'm kind of thinking like that doesn't really mix to me. He has obviously a horror background, and the stuff in the trench was darker cinematically on screen. But what would be your thinking of, does Aquaman 2 need horror? I mean, is Aquaman a character that lends itself to horror?
I wonder if he means like maybe more dark, as like they did with the trenches in the first one. Maybe it's heavily on the Black Manta side of things, where it's just more chaos or evil or deadly or murderous, perhaps. Because I would totally love to see like a Black Manta four-fronted film. That would be awesome. Let's get a little bit of his story. Don't take out Aquaman, but I'd like to get to know the Black Manta a little bit more. He was a great character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they represented him really well in the movie. And the helmet, man, you just give me more. That's what everybody wants to see. Just
Like-
just have I mean just in every scene just have him carry it. You don't want to cover up your face. Just carry the helmet.
Yeah, like the fact that they kept the helmet as like obnoxiously stupid and amazing as it is just shows that this is you gotta have more of it. I love the helmet.
It's the perfect. I mean, that would be the perfect outfit for right now.
Yeah.
That helmet would be like the perfect social distancing helmet, and then you got the staff in case anyone tries to get within 6 feet of you. Just that helmet would be awesome right now.
Yeah.
I agree.
I will say about the fandom, when we were at the hotel this past weekend, they were advertising that on like every single channel out in Oklahoma. It was ridiculous. You're watching a show, boom, there's the commercial, you flip the channel on that station. I mean, it was everywhere. To the point where I'm like, I gotta go to this thing. Where I was kind of on the fence before, but I saw the advertisement like every 2.5 minutes. Now I want to go.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder what would happen if they just used 1% of that power to point people at comic books and comic book stores. Dude.
I know, right? That actually makes sense. Who would have thunk?
I mean, that would be nice, but you know, it's probably just gonna be like an extended panel of the extended trailer of the extended Snyder cut or something like that. That's what it feels like it's gonna be.
Okay, well, guess what? You just got my money right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me that
honestly.
panel. That panel alone. Give me the trailer for the extended cut. But you gotta add something to it, you know.
Yeah.
And it can't just be one scene. Give me at least 2 scenes. Something.
It can't be like was it Avengers Infinity War, where it's like we're re-releasing it with extra footage and it's like a non like it's like a drawn in version of the Hulk. Like, come on. Like, I'm paying good money to see this again in theaters to get you closer to being number one like all time. And all you're gonna do is like one scene. It's like pre-rendered. Come on.
Yeah.
I'd have been okay with that if they'd have just said, we're just going to give you some extra footage of behind the scenes. But no, they said
Yeah.
more content. I was wanting more content to film.
So ridiculous. Yeesh.
Thanks, Marvel. Thanks, Johnny. Look at you.
Yeah, it's Johnny Marvel to you. But look, so that's the thing that's going to happen. We'll talk about what happened after it. I'll probably watch a few panels. I'm interested in the video game aspect. They have all these clues online for what appears to be a Court of Owls themed Batman video game. So that would be awesome. The Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. That sounds like it's going to be a good game. That and it's pretty much been pointed to that Maxwell Lord is going to be the Wonder Woman 84 villain. Is going to basically mind control the Justice League, and then you're in charge of the Suicide Squad. And you gotta take out the Justice League to save everyone. But DC Fandom, August 22nd, DCFandom.com. Other movie news that's really not movie, but it's a book. Did anyone enjoy the book or movie version of Ready Player One?
Yeah.
The movie version.
The book is fantastic. The movie's really good though.
So on November 24th, Ready Player 2 is coming out finally. Been long awaited. Follow up to the 2011 novel, and Will Wheaton is reading the audiobook. So gonna narrate. So
good old, you know.
And I would assume this is gonna lead to a sequel at some point, right?
Yeah.
One hopes.
Yes.
I enjoyed that movie. I mean, I don't know if it like hit as hard as they thought it would as far as a blockbuster status, but you know, it was a heartfelt kind of homage to popular culture stuff. I enjoyed it.
So maybe I just wasn't watching TV, or I wasn't really getting a lot of the ad. I wasn't like the targeted advertised, group when Ready Player One came out. But I saw like almost nothing for trailers for it. Like in fact, I had to hear from other people that it was out and that it was good. So I mean, maybe I could be out of loop. I am a cord cutter, so I'm not like watching, cable. I'm not really on YouTube or anything like that. So like I don't see that stuff. But I mean, did anyone see?
Yeah, I want to say that I saw that trailer like all over the place every time I got on YouTube or something like that. And I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
I had no clue what Ready Player One was, but as soon as I saw Pac-Man,
Yeah.
I'm in. So I'm easy, man. I'm easy. Just give me some Pac-Man, dude. I'm all about it.
I think I remember there being a build up to it and the trailer being a big deal because it was like from Spielberg but yeah, I just don't know if it was a huge blockbuster. We'll see if with Ready Player 2, we'll see if people latch on to the book and then maybe that drives the interest for a sequel.
I really wish they did Ready Player 1:2, just to make things much more confusing. Like that would have been, it's the perfect opportunity to really say screw it to a lot of things, and it's like, yep, we're doing this. What's the name of the sequel again? Oh yeah, Ready Player 1:2.
It's funny. I've always wanted to come out with a rock album called Greatest Hits Number 2.
Yep.
But there's no Greatest Hits Number 1 at all. So when people buy it, they're like, "Do you have Greatest Hits Number 1?" And they're like, "No." Just the number 2, and it's like hard to find, and people are looking for it all over the place.
Worth it. Totally worth it.
I know, right?
And then we'll get to comics in a second to finish out the show. But
Woo!
Get the comics.
30 minutes of comics.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Give me the shows. Give me the stuff that matters, Mark.
So The Boys comes out September 4th. We're excited for that, right?
We are very excited for this.
And some casting news for season 3 ahead of season 2 coming out. Jensen Ackles, most famous for voicing Jason Todd, right? Right. That's he wasn't. He's not in this show for 14, 15, 18 seasons. How long has Supernatural been on the air?
Ever.
It's been on since like before the dawn of time.
I think so.
See, in fact, actually, there's history books that say that Napoleon actually watched the original 3rd season back when it was originally released, and that he disliked it so much that he go back onto the screenwriting board and redo it. That's how we have the current season 3.
I believe
it. When Ted comes into play. They brought Napoleon here. He brings the TV show with them here. That's why we're so behind.
That's what it is.
But Jensen Ackles of Supernatural fame has been cast as Soldier Boy, who in the boys' world is the first superhero. Became a celebrity after World War II, and obviously it's going to be crazy because the boys is just crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see him fitting in really well in the boys verse because like just how he is on Supernatural as Dean. I can totally see that transitioning really well into smug superhero, corruption. If he even fits that role, which I don't know if he does. I can't remember. Yeah, the boys, worth watching.
It just seems like we're hearing a lot about the boys even before season 2's been out. So
yeah, no, it's absolutely crazy when a show gets renewed for a 3rd season before the next season's even out. Like they're putting a lot of bank into this season. This is HBO showing Amazon showing that this is they believe in this.
Yeah. I mean, the season 1 was insane, but it worked. Did anyone catch Lovecraft Country on HBO last?
No, but I wanted to.
It's really good. Based on Matt Ruff's 2016 novel, and stars produced by Jordan Peele and J.J. Abrams, so that's a winning team. And then
really good
starring Journey Smollett, of course, Black Canary from Birds of Prey, Jonathan Majors, and Courtney B. Vance. No spoilers here, but it's awesome. If you enjoyed the book, I think it's a really good TV adaptation, and just a lot more craziness even going on to look forward to in season 1. But episode 1 premiered yesterday, so check that out, HBO Max. And then we already mentioned this, but the all the DCU original content, mostly really Doom Patrol is what's important here, moving officially to HBO Max. That's season 2. Did anyone get to check out season 2 yet?
Mm-mm.
It's just so
good. I hear it's great.
It is awesome. All right, so
are they then renewing it for a 3rd season, or is it just being moved over for viewing onto HBO Max?
That one's getting a season 3, and
Okay.
Titans is getting a season 3.
End it. Just cut it.
But
give me a $1.99 per episode, and I'll be good.
yeah, and then Stargirl is still, it's CW, so is it going to be both? I don't know, but Stargirl's getting season 2. Swamp Thing has not been renewed at all yet. So.
Yeah. I mean, we're to see a CW HBO crossover because they can finally get away with the stuff that CW really wants to do, but never could because of being the CW.
Yeah. All right, comic. What book stood out last week?
There was the first appearance of the Robin King in the comics book, which is like it's hard to remember because they sold so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a Venom 27 that sold like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the big ones. I remember if there was anything else that was a big one. I just felt like there's a lot of stuff that sold out even before it made it to the rack. I think there was
as soon as we opened up the doors, we were out of Death Metal 3 or Death Metal whatever it was. What sold really fast, I guess not surprisingly, they came out with a Star Wars action figures catalog book. I didn't even open it up, so I don't even know if it was a comic book or not. But it was pretty thick, maybe 100 pages or something. I just put it next to the register. I figured they'd be there for a couple of days and sold out of those in like 15 minutes. I don't remember.
And then this week we got more Joker War stuff, Batman 97, Nightwing 73. And then on the Marvel side, one thing that stuck out to me is Maestro, the Hulk villain, getting a #1. So is he getting his own comic?
That's what I understood. It's a kind of interesting because I thought he was kind of a non-character and no one would care, but just from the very initial announcement of it until recently, I keep on having people add it to their pull boxes. So obviously there are people out there that are real Maestro fans that I was unaware of.
And then, yeah, go ahead.
They came out with a Marvel Tales Maestro last week, and we had quite a few of them, and I'm like, why did we order all these? And now we got 2 left, and I was very impressed. So I don't know much about the guy, but I think it's going to be a great book. Yeah, I might actually pick one up to figure out who this dude is.
Yeah, can anyone give us an idea who he is? I mean, clueless. No, nothing. Okay.
I think he's just some smart type Hulk character, but not smart.
Hulk smash with brain power.
For Immortal, I don't think he's been in the Immortal books.
So it seems like we all need to check out Maestro #1. So maybe we should read that and then reconvene next week.
All right, I can do that.
Because other than that, on the Marvel side, it's just more of the same: Avengers, Thor, Wolverine, Excalibur, and then under the Marvel umbrella, obviously Star Wars Bounty Hunters 4. Now, has that Bounty Hunters book remained popular since the first issue?
Yeah.
Good Lord, yes.
And more issue released.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oddly enough, we still have a lot of people. I don't know if you've run into Miss Jen asking for Kylo Ren #1 still, as if it's like, yeah, we can get that back in. I guess we'll try. It's been out forever.
Yeah, Kylo is super popular.
Yeah.
We're at, what, 3rd printing or 5th printing or something for that?
Yeah. Anything with Star Wars on it, it's just done.
It moves really quick. Yeah.
And then I know y'all just placed orders for like a month from now, but anything hitting the shelves? Anything else that people have been asking for coming out this week?
This week, what wasn't out this week? Nothing stands out. I mean, my Batman stuff. Yeah. A new Ghost Rider comes out, I think. Maybe it's just a trade. Forget. I just made spaces for all of these today, and I have no idea what's coming out. I know the Wonder Woman annual is coming out. A Voyage to the Stars. I don't know what that is. Dead Day. Oh, Death Metal is coming out with a guidebook. The Death Metal Dark Knights guidebook. So I don't know exactly what that is.
It's the guide to all the Star Wars action figures.
There it is. That's what it is.
With a different cover. I don't know if there's anything exciting. Is it the Harley variant for Batman is gonna go like crazy? It's that 1 in 10 variant or whatever, 1 in 25 maybe. The Jimenez
I know what big is. It's a Harley Quinn 75
75.
last issue.
That's right. It is Harley Quinn's last issue this week. I'm drawing her now, and I should have known that.
Disappointed.
Yeah.
I would assume, so was that planned to end at 75, or does this kind of fit into everything else that's sort of ending right now?
I can't remember. It had it slated to be done at 75. Actually, if you want to know the truth, I just figured that out today. Someone had said it was the last issue. I was like, what the what? No. Yep.
Yeah, I was. Somebody told me a couple of weeks ago, and I Googled it. Sure enough, it was it, because I was like, no, it can't be. Our relationship's over. And then I started looking at all of the variants, because there's a ton of exclusive variants with, of course, Harley and Punchline. And I'm trying to get everything that Punchline is on, and I'm like, good Lord, man. I can't afford all of this. So I've got to pick and choose everything as far as Harley 75. But yeah, man, I'm kind of sad.
The B cover is pretty, just the regular old Cho B.
Yeah. But I was looking at exclusive, art store covers and all that crap. Like a moron. Like, let me spend all this money on the exact same book with different covers. Why do I do this to myself?
Because they're
They are. There's a couple of good ones. Anyway.
Now, has Punchline made her way into the actual Harley Quinn book yet?
I don't think she does until 75. If she's going to appear, it will be in 75 because it's part of the Joker War. And that's the only Harley Quinn book the Joker War has anything to do with.
Is there any possibility she just kills Harley Quinn and then that, like, in 75? Wouldn't that be like the hottest book ever?
She split her when they met.
What?
She split her throat the first time they met.
Yeah, but she's fine though, right?
Sure, and I don't know how that is, but
yeah, I mean, she does some things as a Catwoman as well. I mean, like when Punchline came through, dude, she was just offing everybody off, and I was like, this is amazing. But it had that very 1966 Batman like ending, where it was, because we talked about this before. But Mark, have you read this yet?
No, just go ahead and tell me. I don't care.
I will. So, like the designer, right? You know, Batman's chasing the designer, want to know who he is. Total 1966. They unmasked the designer. You know who it is? It's like a mummified skeleton with a walkie-talkie in his mouth. It's been the Joker the whole time. I'm like, how is that even possible? Get out of here.
Of course it is.
And it was so 66 that I liked it, but I was like, that's messed up because this book has been solid. And everything that Punchline did before that had the reveal, like, just made up for it. And it was a nod, I guess, to 66. So it was like, okay, cool, man. Like, you still have me. I still get it. And so far, it's still great. It's still a great series.
I was hoping it was Egghead, the Vincent Price villain from the 66 series.
Yeah, if you look at him just right, you know, in some of those covers, it kind of does look like Egghead.
A couple books coming out in the future later this year, probably. A couple of Kickstarters, so it might be early 2021. One not Kickstarter from Marvel, Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood. So pretty awful title, but it's an anthology series in black and white and red that emphasizes the violent side of Wolverine. It's set within the Dawn of X timeline, but it's gonna, like I said, be an anthology series focused on short stories with Wolverine, different writers and artists each time. The first issue, pretty loaded. It's gonna have a Weapon X tale from Jerry Duggan and Adam Kubert. And then a favorite of the show here, Matthew Rosenberg with artist Joshua Cassara is going to do a Wolverine and Nick Fury spy story. And then also a new X-Men age story from writer/artist Declan Shalvey. So I'm interested in that. But aren't they also doing like a Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red on the DC side? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
they are. And I hope
Maybe that's why they had to call it Black, White, and Blood.
Oh.
So like this Wolverine Fury, spy little thing.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be one of those situations where like Wolverine at one point is gonna be like snick snick? It's like, well, there ain't gonna be anybody can't snitch on us if they ain't alive, and it's just him killing everybody they're supposed to be spying on.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. I mean, like,
Why
there
not?
ain't no witnesses, there ain't nobody living.
But then a couple of Kickstarters that caught my interest. One is from Scott Snyder and Tony Daniel.
Yes, Nocturnal.
Nocturnal, yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Chaz, you wanna
Super cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this book. The artwork so far looks amazing. They're crowdfunding it right now on Kickstarter, and it's just humanity in a deep sea of darkness and how they're going to cope and all that jazz. And it's not spelled, they spell it weird too, so I'm sure they're going to get into it in the book. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And matter of fact, after this, I'm glad you said something, because I'm going to go over to Kickstarter and see what I can do to make sure this happens, or help make sure it happens. I think it'd be great. Scott Snyder is just amazing. I mean, dude is just killing it, and it's through Image. It's an Image product.
Yeah, it's gonna be released through Image in 2021. But if you want any of the extra stuff, I think on there right now the main thing is a book that's a script on the left and then the comic pages on the right. So just if you really want to delve into this world, it's in a world where the sunlight has been gone for 10 years. And I'm sure we'll find out why. But it sounds cool. The only way to travel safe during this time is to hire ferrymen, which are basically people with illuminated transport vehicles. So maybe Tron cycles, that would be cool. I don't know. And the main protagonist, Valentina, is a ferryman. So everything will kind of be centered off of that job and how she gets people to and from destinations. And then just exploring why it's like that. Another one that is cool, David Papose of Spencer and Locke. He also has a book on Kickstarter, and it is called Oz. O.Z. It's a reimagining of Wizard of Oz. Has anyone heard about this one?
I haven't, but I'm down to read it.
So it is a grim retelling of basically the power vacuum that occurred after Dorothy landed on the Wicked Witch. Oz is now an occupied zone, and it's entrenched in a civil war since that happened. Their only hope, of course, is Dorothy's granddaughter, who is an Iraq War veteran with PTSD. So that's going to be a limited 3-issue series. Check that
Hard
out.
pass. Hard pass. Hard pass. Full stop. Go nowhere near it. No. This is like what, the 1,300th redo or re-imaging of the Oz universe? No. Hard pass. Next.
Some of them has been pretty cool. Like Scotty Young did an Oz, which I thought was pretty cool. But then again, I love his art.
Yeah. It doesn't sound interesting. I'm sorry. For me at least. Like it just doesn't.
Spencer and Locke is such a good comic, though, so I might give it a chance based off that.
It really is. It really is.
And then everyone keeps playing this game of like, what's next for 2020? What possible thing can happen that's worse than all this? Apparently Galactus. That's the answer.
That's for December. We're gonna be right near the cusp of getting out of this thing alive, and then hey, what's that silver thing flying through the air?
No, scientists discovered Galactus. It's actually a cloud with a heart-like beat rhythm. It's 15,000 light years away from Earth, and they think that this pattern they're picking up is caused by a neighboring black hole. So we not only Galactus, but we get the cloud version from Rise of the Silver Surfer.
So does this now mean that Rise of the Silver Surfer is now a scientifically accurate?
Yeah, it's canon. It's real life canon.
This is real canon now. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah. So we'll get a Doctor Doom from Nip Tuck like anymore.
Dude, we need not worry, my friends. In July, Japan was building a big old Gundam robot. You know, remember the
now?
It's because they know Galactus is coming. Now, Galactus, the Eater of Worlds, the gun has no chance, but at least they're trying.
So things are starting to line up now. If you look at the overall extended calendar for 2020 in terms of the apocalypse, all right, earlier this year we had the government coming out and saying aliens are in fact real.
Yeah.
No one cared, by the way.
But no one cared about murder
No.
hornets. Were like number one for that month, apparently, for a week. So we have that. Let's start with that for the beginning of the year. Months later, we now have Super Gundam being made in Tokyo and Japan doing all this fun stuff. And now you're telling me there is, a Cloud Galacticus coming our way, and it might destroy our entire world and everything we hold dear. I'm just saying 2020 is lining up to be one of the worst crossover events of the world. Like, this is too much for me, man.
But also Murder Hornet, which would make a great sci-fi movie.
Honestly, yes. Like, what happened to those things? Like, it honestly scares me a little bit.
They're in the cloud, dude. They're in the cloud now.
They're in the cloud. Wait, like when I download stuff and we get murder hornets coming after me, or are they in the Galacticus cloud? Oh, that cloud.
They went into the Sharknado, so now there's going to be the spawn of sharks and murder hornets.
Yeah.
Been out of this tornado Galactus cloud, so we're all doomed. That's all it is.
Okay.
When people are freaking out about the Sahara dust storm, and it's like, dude, this is the thing that happens every year, but it's like, yeah, but it's a 2020 dust cloud. It's gonna be like the thing from the Mummy.
Yeah.
Oh man, 2020. What has this year been?
Someone tell me I'm not the only person binge watching the Teenage Bounty Hunters on Netflix.
What?
Teenage Bounty Hunters. You have to watch it.
Is it like a reality series, kind of like Dog the Bounty Hunter, or is it just like a? It's
The
all
show. Two sisters that are teenagers who find themselves in the bounty hunting business. It's hilarious. So funny. Very unique.
All right. I'll watch episode 1 tonight, and let's see what happens.
And I respect you if you say it's not your jam, but I and I was like, five.
I will definitely. I'll give it a watch. I'll give it a try and see what happens. I haven't gone back to Stargirl. that Disney Plus ripoff. So yeah, I'll go Teenage Bounty Hunters. I'm in.
And not for when there's young ones in the room at all.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I have to watch it alone. All right.
Oh no. So I found myself recently. I've been like, oh, what do I want to watch? And I've been like, I haven't watched Bloodshot in a while. I kind of want to watch Bloodshot. Like,
did you see that they're putting it back in the theaters?
Oh,
that's great.
Theaters.
Nice.
My wish is true.
Well, good. We should all go see it in the theaters when it comes out.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
All right, Chaz, pertinent question for you before we do our Mark sign-off thing. So let's say you're paying for a subscription service, right? And they want to be like, hey, we're going to put out a movie for you that should be in theaters, but normally, because of, things going on, we can't do that. But we want you to pay to watch this movie on a service you're already paying monthly to, access.
Mm-hmm.
How much money would you pay to watch a movie that would normally be in theaters, but now is on a streaming service? Like, I don't know. Let's say.
Oh, hold on. Whoa. Before you say anything, because you're about to give it away.
Yeah.
Hold on. How much money would I pay to see Bill and Ted's new movie? $20 on top of what I'm paying already? Hell yeah. Give me Bill and Ted. Is it the movie you're talking about?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
How much? What is the most you would pay to watch a movie that would be in theaters or might also be in theaters, but on a streaming service you're already paying for?
Yeah, well, see, I know that Bill and Ted, that they were talking about not waiting until after all of this. They're like, we don't want to push it back. People are at home. They need something to do. We're going to put it out. We're going to let you stream it. Now, how they're going to do that, I'm not sure. But say I've got Netflix, right? And they're like, okay, we're going to put it on Netflix, but we need to make our money back. So pay X amount of dollars to watch it on top of what you're paying monthly. Well, yep. I see as that monthly fee, I'm getting crap that's been out already. I'm getting 1,800 movie specials. I mean, there are some good things on Netflix, but for the most part, it's just whatever. Yeah. But if you put something like Bill and Ted on there, and I have to pay an extra $15 on what I'm paying a month, yeah. I mean, I'm paying the $15 at the theater anyway.
Yeah.
So why not pay it? And I want to see this movie.
So now, if the movie was, say, I don't know, $30 to watch it, would you pay that money?
Well, it depends. Now, it really depends.
Okay.
What movie?
Let's say it's Bill and Ted. Still, like, would you if they charged $30 for you to watch it one time in your house, like for 24 hours in your house, would you do it still?
Oh, man, it's tough, man.
$30.
$30. I don't know. Which movie are you getting at?
I don't know. As we were talking about what Mulan was the one that they started this with last week, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Mulan $30?
It's going to be,
Yeah.
but you also get to keep it.
Okay, so you get to keep it. Okay, I missed that part.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause remember we all paid $20 for Bloodshot, and I think it expired in 48 hours, right? So.
Well, I was one of the morons who actually bought it.
Yeah, I bought it.
Yeah. Because I don't remember it being a rent thing.
Well, maybe I bought it for.
I remember you had to buy it to watch it.
Maybe
we weren't able to rent it yet because it was so new or something. Yeah, because you have to buy it first, then it's available for rent. So, Mark, you own that movie.
Oh, okay.
If you bought it at the same time as we did, you own that movie. Which I'm not mad about.
No.
When I had to buy it, I was pretty upset because I'm like, I'm not into this.
Why can't I rent a movie?
Man. Yeah. I went in as a sour old man. I was like, get off my grass. It was horrible. But watching it was actually pretty good. Watching it with you guys made it even more fun. And then I went back and watched it, I think the next day, just by my lonesome, picking up the parts that I missed. And it still had, I still thought it was a great movie. And I dislike Vin Diesel. But he got me on that one. So it was cool. For sure. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to Bill and Ted.
$30 though, or 15?
Do I get to keep the movie?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'll pay $30 to keep the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, all day long.
Okay.
Why not? Because they're gonna do exclusive like nobody's business. Oh, right on. Wow.
I was curious. Figured that's the question because we all already asked that.
If I get to keep it, yes. If I don't get to keep it, then I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah.
I'll find it somewhere else for cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
All right, Mark, back over to you, bud.
All right. Well, thank you, Jarek, Chaz, and Miss Jen, as always. And thank you for watching Nerd.
Uh-oh, did he stop?
Uh-oh.
Nerd
Oh,
news now.
The
Right.
of-
Oh, there he goes. You stopped, so I filled in for you. And go. You were blank.
Oh, yeah. I was sorry. It was Galactus. Check out other shows on Woodlands Online like Taste Buds, Music Cafe, The Adventure Begins Show, Woodlands House and Home, The Best You, Weekly Fallout Sports Talk, and Between the Trees Business Talk. You can also watch all these on Woodlands Online and on our partner station KBQT HD21 over the air on your television. Hey, don't forget we're on Roku now. Add Woodlands Online TV to your streaming lineup. And for an audio podcast, you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast from. See you next time on Nerd News Now.
See ya, nerds.